What is good, humans? What's up, everybody? If you can hear me, say hi in the chat. Say what's up in the chat. We'll get started here in a second. Wait for people to join up. Just a bit. There we go. What up, everybody? If you can hear me, say something in the chat. Give us a like in the chat as well. Unko, what up, bro? All right.
What up, people?
What up, people? What up? What up? Good to see everybody. Yeah, just chilling now. How's the sound? Mr. Unko man, can you hear us? Give us a check. How's the sound working out? Joined here by my boy Narrow Road.
What's up, guys?
Didn't ask you if you were
Yeah.
if you're alright with your name out in the world, but
Yeah.
Or we could go with alias. Either way.
Yeah, just Unko man.
Unko man. Yeah,
Let's
you
go
are
with
you
Unko
are
man.
Unko man
Yeah.
today.
No, yeah, I'm just Mati or Soda or Unko man. So
Cool.
So yeah, just Mati is cool, man.
Alright,
Yeah.
Word, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, so like you had a kind of crazy journey coming to Japan. Obviously, like you done a lot of photography, done a lot of projects with people and everything.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah.
And somehow in the end you ended up working as a host, right?
Yep. That's right.
So how did you first get into that?
So, man, yeah, I remember, like, as many foreigners when I first came here, so I was a student first. So I was studying Japanese for 1 year, and then photography for 2 years, and then, I would just go Nampa around, Shinjuku, Shibuya, whatever, and especially Shinjuku, right? I would go, like, deeper into Kabukicho, and I would see these guys, right? These kind of anime-looking guys, like weird hair, and like contact lenses, and
Yeah.
and this like cool fashion, and I was like, yo, what's this, right? What's this all about? Are these like Nampa guys, or are they like, what do we do, right? And then yeah, it doesn't take much research to find out those are like the hosts, right, in Kabukicho. Because it's a pretty big red light district, and there's like, man, I don't know, more than like 300 or 400 host clubs, I think, in Kabukicho, right? So yeah, that was about it at first, and then I got kind of in Japanese is akogareta, right? I'm like, I kind of want to be like these guys.
So what,
Right.
like, what drew you to them? Like, why did you admire them?
Yeah, so like when I did, I look it up on the internet, and it's like you get paid to drink alcohol, which is cool, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you can dress outlandishly, and then no one thinks anything because you're a host, right? And then you get paid to like basically talk to chicks, right?
Yeah, seems good. Seems good.
It's this like it's the perfect job, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why haven't I heard about this? And why why isn't anyone that I know kind of like doing it, right? Is it only for Japanese people? So yeah, and then I thought it was only for Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And then but yeah, I started kind of dressing, kind of like hosts, right? I started doing my hair. I bought this wax and in Donkey. I think you've tried it as well. Silver Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it
I've
was
tried that
like,
one too.
man, a few months that I would just put that like to go to like fucking Japanese school, right?
Yeah.
Just like the gray hair, and I would put like crazy amounts of wax, and then I would go to like Hisaro, right? So I would get I would go tanning. Like, I don't know if that's related, but it's kind of like this gyaruo looks, right? And so yeah, and this one day I was just I went to Shinjuku, and I got down the station, and I walked past the smoking area, and this guy approached me, and this Japanese guy, and he's like, are you interested in being a host in Kabukicho?
Oh, okay. You got scouted, basically.
I got scouted, yeah.
Yeah.
And and I didn't know what to think of it. I was a little bit scared at first, and so I told him, I just exchanged lines,
Yeah.
right? And then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go to the interview, right? So first there's like an interview. So I met him like maybe the week after that, and he took me to like a random host club, right? And that time I got to see for the first time the interior of the club, which is it's pretty cool. It's like this kind of like 5-star hotel kind of, but dark at the same time. It's this it's very luxurious, right? It looks very luxurious, and it's dark like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just sat down, and a bunch of hosts came, and they started kind of asking me questions. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll be a host.
Yeah.
And then they are, what's your visa, right? I showed them my Zaidu card, right? And they're like, oh no, you can't do it. You need to have this visa, right? And I won't go into details of that, but yeah, it's not as easy as I thought.
Right.
The kind of the bureaucracy part of it, right? And I got scouted like 2 times after that as well. I had to reject every time, and then when I graduated school, basically I managed to change my visa, and I managed to get the visa. So to like allows you to
Lets you work at night, right?
So then, and tell me if I'm kind of going on a tangent.
No,
but,
we're good. We're good.
And the same day I got the visa, so I went to immigration. I applied. I waited like a month. Then the letter came from immigration. I went. I got the visa. That day, I went to Kabukicho. I drank 2 or 3 strong zeros to kind of ease the nervousness.
Yeah.
And I just went straight into the first host club I saw, and I told them I want to work here,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, okay. So the
They
guy
were
came.
they were pretty cool about it.
They
You just
were cool
walked in,
about it.
right?
Yeah.
They were cool about it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then one of the hosts came, and first he brought ocha, right? A tea for me to drink while I waited. And I regret to say that I was too drunk, and I spilled the drink. Man, you have to try this, man. I spilled the fucking drink in the table, right?
Oh, shit.
That was one of the most embarrassing moments in my life.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
bet. Damn.
And 5 minutes passed, right? They cleaned my mess, and then the host came back, and he's like, sorry man, you can't work here. And I'm pretty sure it was the
drink.
the drink
Oh,
incident.
shit.
So then I'm like, oh fuck. I went out,
Good thing there's 200 or 300 other
Yeah.
clubs.
so I went straight into the next one.
Yeah.
Some random, right? Just like straight.
Yeah.
And same thing. I want to work here, and and yeah, they let me. That's where I.
So the second one ended up being the one that you ended
Yeah.
up working at.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and yeah.
So they were.
that's
I mean,
also-
I'm surprised how cool they were. Just like you walk in off the street, and you were like, "Hey, I want to work here." Like both of them, even the first one. Okay, you spilled the drink, but they were still like willing to talk to you. Like, okay.
Yeah, so the thing with the host clubs is the barrier of entry is not strict at all.
Right. 'Cause it's all
and-
commission, basically.
Yeah, and you don't have to be you don't have to look kind of you don't have to be ikemen, right, or anything. Anyone can basically start working, and the hard part is staying and actually you know, making a living out of it. And most
Right.
of the hosts, they quit after 1 month or something.
So what did you notice about the difference about the guys who could last a long time versus the guys who quit pretty quickly?
Well, to be completely honest, looks play an important part in your success as a host. So
sure, makes sense.
if you are a ikemen, and that comes, I mean, yeah, being good looking, I guess it affects your personality as you grow up, right? You get approval in school, right? After, you know, you get girls, you kind of associate yourself with kind of being like the good looking popular guy.
For sure.
So so I think being good looking is a big part of having success as a host. That being said, though, there's more than a few hosts that are less than average looking, and they do pretty well. And as you probably know as well, many do like surgery, right? So they start like super busu, right? And then they make some money, and they start doing surgery, and they get like one after another, and then they go like from zero to hero and superstar.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would say that there's nothing. If you're serious about it, I don't think your looks should be any kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they play an important part, but they're not everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Roland, I
Yeah.
don't think he was like really that beautiful when he started. Like you can tell he has like a lot of surgery, and he like
Yeah.
like I mean he's tall. And he's actually kind of big,
Yeah.
like compared to a lot of hosts, but you can tell like he didn't start out really like that. Like he came in really right.
Yeah. Have you seen one of his?
I
old
haven't
pictures?
seen the whole picture really, but
He's just like
just like
normal
a normal
Japanese
like a
with a-
normal dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yeah, I would say yeah, not good looking at all, actually.
Right.
But yeah, there's this thing in the host world. It's like just like it's competition, right? And it's like how much do you want it, right? And the senpais as well, they play a big part on kind of like pushing you, right, to get customers, to get them to spend, right? And there's a whole ethical factor involved there as well. I don't know if you want to talk about that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You, to be honest, I felt pretty bad many times, kind of, you know, pushing girls to kind of spend more than I could tell them they were
They were able to.
able to.
Right.
But if you want to succeed as a host, I would say you need to you need to kind of completely ignore that, forget about that, and just
Of course.
you know, just like kind of automatically like a machine, kind of like focus on how much uriage you can make.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's a bit fucked up, but
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that was interesting. Like, you see, like, the trucks go by, or you see, like, the ads on the wall being, like how much of a player, like, non-Zenmon player or whatever, right?
yeah,
It's all about, like... And the weird thing is, like, they just advertise it like it's, like, a... You know, it's just, like, however much you make validates your existence as a human being, right?
Yeah,
which is
that's
such
right.
it's a crazy way of thinking, basically, I think.
Yeah. Um, and I've usually wondered what do the girls that go to the host clubs, the customers, right, the ones that spend a lot of money on the hosts, what is their mentality, right? How do they justify to themselves? I mean, some have a lot of money, right? Because they work in the night industry.
Yeah.
Basically, just they get paid to have sex.
Yeah.
With old guys, right? And that pays pretty well, apparently.
Sure.
But even that, right? It's like they are willing to sacrifice their that kind of like they're willing to have sex with old guys to get money to then
spend it
to be able to talk to hosts.
Right.
And most of them are actually good looking. The girls, they're nines or tens. A lot come to the club. More nines or tens than like fives or sixes.
For sure.
And excuse my numerical kind of system to rank chicks.
No, it makes sense.
So yeah, but it's fun. It's definitely it feels kind of like you're in a movie and you're like kind of you're like hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean it must be good. It must feel good to have girls sitting there spending lots of money just to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
It sounds.
It's super kind of. It's like this huge kind of validation, right? It's like, I'm the fucking man, right?
Yeah. It must go to your head too.
Yeah, it does, to be honest. But it does help with kind of it does help when you're trying to nampa chicks outside of the host club, or if you go to a party.
Yeah.
Especially when I was working as a host, I don't know, I like girls would just tell, they would feel like your aura and get like attracted to you, I would say. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, man. Like, so what did you notice about the guys who were like in your club, the senpais or whatever, that were doing really well? What would you notice about their personality or like?
Well, the main thing is they're super determined. So they're just like it's just like it's this or nothing. So I have to be number one. If you don't have that mentality of like I need to be number one,
yep,
I would say it's pretty hard. So they're super kind of goal oriented. That would be the first thing. Then they're they take really good care of their looks and their hygiene as well, which sounds kind of basic, right? But it's not actually. So you can choose when you are a host if you want to do your heame. So if you want to do your hairstyle yourself, or you want to pay around $20 every day for them to do your hairstyle.
Right.
And okay, this is something that relates to your previous question. Most of the guys that quit, they weren't kind of motivated enough to like sacrifice those $20 of their salary, right? Because they deduct it from your salary to do their hair every day, right? And then they also spend money on expensive clothes, brand brando mono, right? And it sounds stupid, right? But chicks, especially kabukicho girls, they pay attention to that.
Of course, yeah, of course.
And then another really big one is their tokuryoku, so their kind of charisma and their way of speaking. Yeah, they always kind of seem to have something interesting to say.
Yeah.
They have this really strong masculine energy, even though many wear makeup and they look very androgynous, right? But they all have like this strong kind of masculine presence. And yeah, they're I would say they're this is funny. They are the, compared to normal Japanese guys, their personality is more similar to foreigners than normal kind of Japanese people.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because they look super Japanese, right? Like
Yeah.
they look like the most Japanese.
Yeah, but they. So when they talk to the customer, they're super focused on first making them laugh. This is really important because you gotta remember the girls are paying these huge amounts of money.
Yep.
So they want to be treated, they want to be entertained.
Mhm,
Basically,
mhm,
they want to be treated as a princess, right?
mhm.
And so many people think of hosts as kind of like this. They're like these idols, and girls idolize them, and they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
But no, inside the club, when the girl is paying money, right, to be there, and they treat her like really well, kind of like a Disney prince, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then outside the working hours, they're super kind of so there's honne and tatemae, right, in Japanese culture,
Mm-hmm.
and even when you're with Japanese friends, they have this tatemae, right, all the time, this front, right.
For sure.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. Hosts are more kind of like Jiu, they just say whatever comes to their mind. There's fights all the time, like they're like I would say they're way more free in spirit than normal Japanese people, and the best Japanese friends that I made, I would say they're the hosts from my club.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool that they're more able to say what they like, and that makes sense why girls would think that they're attractive for doing that, right? For kind of not giving.
Well, the thing is, like, during working hours, they, for example, usually you wouldn't say anything to the girl that would like hurt her feelings, right? So you're not allowed to ask her age or her profession, right? If she has a boyfriend, if she's married or whatever.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
I mean, those are mostly things that I also do when I'm talking to girls on the street. Like, I don't know. I mean, I just naturally kind of come to that myself. I find it kind of tacky to ask girls age or profession usually, right?
Yeah, I don't know what purpose it serves, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't help you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. A lot of guys, like, they try to make small talk or conversation. They think they're doing something good by figuring
Yeah.
out her profession, but
Yeah.
profession doesn't matter, really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm guilty of that as well sometimes. You know, when I'm sometimes it's just I ask her for whatever.
Yeah,
But,
sometimes if you can't think of the next thing to say in the conversation, it makes
Yeah.
sense to be like, oh, so what do you do, blah blah.
Yeah, but it doesn't serve any purpose.
No,
I
it
would
doesn't
say.
actually help you.
Yeah.
Like, I think most guys think like that's how I succeed with women is I ask them their profession and they tell me and then I learn something about them and blah blah blah. But it's kind of bullshit, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also hosts, the way to get customers when you're first starting is to do nampa,
Right.
and kabukicho,
Mm-hmm.
which is, it's not called nampa, it's called catchy, catch, right? So like catching the customers, and when you're like starting every day, it's kind of the norm to, before going to work, between 4 o'clock and like 6-7 o'clock, go to like kabukicho and try to get girls, and then like who would become like your customer.
Right. So if you meet a girl on the street and you pull her into the club, like how? I mean, it's not guaranteed it's your customer, right? Like the other hosts can come and talk to her, right?
Well, not actually. So if you bring her to the club with you, she's your customer.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. But let's say you exchange lines and you tell her the name of your club, and she decides to randomly go one day, then she she's not your customer, right?
She just showed up.
She just showed up, and the first time, each host has 5 minutes with the girl, right? And then towards the end, she picks her host, and that would be her host for the rest of time. Yeah.
That's the shime, right?
Yeah, that's called shime. And then she can also choose to like stay that night as well and keep drinking with the host she chose.
So if the girl comes, like, how much does it cost her to come and chill and drink with the hosts?
So that's called shokai, right? So it's the first time, and that's depends on the club, but it's between like 4,000 and 8,000 gurai. So yeah, less than $100 definitely.
Right.
So that's quite cheap, right? And
Yeah.
that's the first time, and she can stay for around an hour and a half, right? And it's nomi hodai, so she can drink all she wants, but just like kyoketsu,
Right.
which is like this kind of shochu, and then after that, that's where it becomes like pretty expensive.
Right.
So when she picks the host, that's called shimeiryo, and that's 2,000 yen, so $200 around, right? And then so that's when it starts to become expensive, and then you have this whole menu of champagne, and the cheapest one is like $700.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I have some questions. So is being good at game and being a good host, is it basically the same thing, or what do you think are the main differences?
Let me think. Yeah, it can definitely help. It can definitely help. Yeah, if you suck at game, you can't be a good host. That's for sure.
Right.
You definitely need to know how to talk to a girl and keep her entertained. That's pretty big, and you need to be able to stand out, and she needs to pick you over all the other hosts of the club.
Right.
So you're competing against all the other hosts all the time, right? Which is pretty hard. Sounds pretty hard, especially with the top 3 or 5 hosts. They make like more than 10,000 a month or something, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like this kind of super pros. They know exactly what the girls want to hear and stuff. But so yeah, on an average night, I would say around 20 customers, 30 customers come, and my club was pretty small, so the bigger ones are like more than 100, I would say. And first the customers that come for the first time, they're more than half, I would say. So you definitely have chance. You have a lot of chances to like for the
to
girl.
win the movie.
Yeah. So you never know. Maybe a girl you're just her type and she picks you, right?
For sure.
But I would say the main difference between being good at game and being a good host, right? Would be the host. You need to be able to appeal to kabukicho girls, basically menhera, right?
Menhera girls, those mental health.
Yeah, because normal Japanese girls, they don't go to host clubs, right?
True. I mean, they don't have the money even to go. Right?
Yeah, and the personality is very different. The average Japanese girl and the girls that goes to host clubs.
Right. I mean, they're basically all like what percentage are foods? What percentage are prostitutes?
I would say around 2 out of 3. They definitely get paid for sex, and then you have the rest. They can be like kyava or like what you call like bunny lady or like girls bar, which is a bit more rare because they don't earn a lot.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, they're like derriher and all that stuff. But So yeah, but I mean, they're basically prostitutes, so their personality is very different from normal
right?
Japanese girls, and you need to kind of you need to know what they like to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
what artists they usually like. You need to, yeah, they're like menjera, right? So you need to be able to kind of attract those type of girls, and it's a bit different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's probably like a totally different demographic than most people are even talking to, right?
Yeah.
Like most random foreigners or even Japanese guys, it's probably like completely different to what they're even meeting on the street or something.
But yeah,
right?
it's pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and most of them, even they're not interested in like having a boyfriend or anything. They just want to idolize the host and just
Right.
like, and many have more than one host in like other club, right? So many have like the Super Menjera have like their 4 hosts in different clubs.
Yeah.
So they go to Kabukicho, right, almost every night, and then this day they go to this host, and then this day they go to this other one,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So it must be a lot of texting too, right? Like a lot of text messaging.
Yeah, it's being, yeah, line game is pretty important, and it's quite different, and I would say I still, like, towards the end I didn't kind of quite get the grip of a successful line game, like when hosting. One of my senpais, he helped me get one of the highest paying customers to the club. And how we did that, like, I was talking to her online, and then he said just call her, right? So I called her, and then he started listening to my like, yo, come to the club, whatever. And he's like, no, okay, you do this, you just press mute and I'll tell you exactly what to say, and then you press it again, so like she doesn't know that it's me who's speaking.
Right.
And then I would say exactly what he was saying, and it's like super kind of almost confrontational. So it's like, really, you're not coming, so you don't care about me, like it's like if you really care about me, you would come and like you would spend money on me. It's kind of like making her feel guilty. So it's definitely not a pretty thing to be doing, right? But yeah, it's kind of
it's effective
necessary.
though. It's effective.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like there's a lot of girls out there who just like, I mean, the thing is that sex is so common, sex is so available, right? And there's so many guys, obviously, in a big city like Tokyo, right? That like, it's so easy to just find some guy who's interested in you, but it's not easy to find a guy who's like demanding you to come hang out, right? So I could see how that has the allure, right? It has the attraction, right? The girls are like, damn, like, this guy cares about me because he's like being mildly verbally abusive, right?
Yeah. You're completely right. It's man, it's kind of a norm, right? When the host is not entertaining a customer, to be online or on the phone with girls, like telling her to come. And most of it is just making her feel guilty, and it's like, man, and they would say like they would like basically like just treat her like shit over the phone, and that works. And then she would come, and when she comes, they're
nice.
like all sweet, and yeah. So it's just rewarding, giving the treat to the dog, right?
Yeah.
And it works. And yeah, it's very it's dark, right? And I realized that girls, at least these Kabukicho girls, they are attracted to like super abusive kind of guys, right? And I mean, makes sense. I mean, they do this crazy shit, like they are like, yeah, they're like a bit fucked up in the head, right? They have the scars as well, most of them.
For sure.
And so you can't expect to be a nice guy and then expect them to come and like spend money, right?
Yeah, I mean, they gotta know that you care, right? And like in a way, caring is just like being fucked up towards them, right? Being like
Yeah.
guilt tripping them and
Yeah,
being aggressive towards them and all this kind of shit, right?
yeah. And then when they spend, so then they spend, if they spend a lot of money, you need to treat them like super, like she's like the queen, right? The princess.
Right.
And then let's say so the good hosts have many customers coming, many like girls that she made them coming in the same night. So at the same time, one host might have 3 or 4 of his customers
Yep.
at the club at the same time on different tables, of course, and so the host needs to kind of go table by table,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds hard.
Yeah, it is hard, and then so if one of the girls does a champagne call, right? So she orders an expensive champagne, right? Then that's the kind of the girl to pay attention for the rest of the night.
Right.
And he would kind of almost ignore the other girls,
Mm.
even though they're paying like hundreds of dollars, right?
Right.
And then the other girls feel like they need to.
They gotta do the champagne call,
they
right?
need to do a more expensive one, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
Just playing them off of each other, right?
yeah, and giving them treats, basically rewards when they spend more money. Yeah.
All right. So how much body touch or skinship inside the club? Like how much do you feel like the hosts or yourself are touching up girls inside the club?
So yeah, it's not very common, especially with girls that it's their first time, right? So you can choose between sitting in front of her or sitting next to her, right? So if she still hasn't picked any host, then you can just choose, right, where to sit. And some girls, you need to be able to read kind of if they will like, if you go and sit next to them, they're like no. But then some girls, if you don't sit next to them, then maybe they don't feel like appreciated enough.
Right.
So yeah, it depends on each girl. And then yeah, you wouldn't, there's not much touching going on inside the club, but then after the club, usually there's something called after, right? After, and then which most good hosts, the ones that earn pretty good, they do. So basically they go to like a karaoke or a bar that is kind of like linked a little bit to the club. So maybe one of the hosts has a friend that is the owner of the bar, so like the host would go to the bar with a few of their customers, and that's outside working hours.
Right.
So there the vibe changes. So there's kind of like more body touching and hugging, and even, you know, fucking grabbing dicks or touching boobs or whatever. Because sometimes if you don't do that, the girl will stop coming.
Right.
And you don't get paid for that. The host doesn't get paid for that. And but it's very important in kind of building the bond with the girl. And it's a bit mendokusai, right? 'Cause you're drunk, you have drunk a lot in the club, right? And you're tired, you wanna go home.
Right.
But then it's like, no, we gotta go till like fucking 7-8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And keep drinking,
Yeah.
right? In the bar. And so that's mainly where kind of
Skinship.
everyone, skinship, and then so there's a, but, and then of course the sex, right? There's of course sex after hours with the customers. And that's a big one. I like the dilemma of like should I have sex with her or not, if she wants to. Because so I asked a few of my senpais, like, is it better or not, like, to keep her as a customer?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't answer it. It's like you need to be the judge of that. It depends for the girl.
There's probably some that's better to do, some that's better to not do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's tricky, man. It's tricky.
Sheesh.
Damn, man. Yeah, it sounds difficult, man, to judge all those things, right? Like, man, it gets so complicated too because you're doing it for money rather than, just because you want that chick. So, what do you think are the main differences? Like, if you're gonna do nampa, if you're gonna meet a girl on the street, if you're gonna pull her home, what are the differences the way you talk to a girl if you try to just like pull her home versus if you're trying to turn her into a customer?
Oh, so you mean when you talk to her on the street?
Yeah, like, okay, so like if you're on your free time and you're
Yeah.
like, I just want to meet a girl and take
Yeah.
her home,
Yeah.
how's it different from if you meet a girl and you're like, I want her to be my customer at the club?
To be honest, it's not so different. So, you of course you need to build attraction if you want her to come to the club,
Right.
right? So we would do the nampa with like together, right, with the other
Mhm,
hosts.
mhm, mhm.
That's cool. That's fun, right? It's like this kind of like these host buddies, just like nampa in kabukicho. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun, and and definitely the senpais, they do know how to nampa as well. And you probably know this, like Japanese game is more, they have their lines, right? They it's more they have their structure, they know what they're gonna say.
Right.
Many times they open with the same line, right? I think you and me as well, we're like more loose, right? We go with the feeling, right? But they would be like, hey, you dropped, in Japanese of course, right? You dropped this, right? So they go, oh, onesan ochita yo, ochita, ore to no ai, right? So really cheesy,
yeah.
right? And yeah, and it works with kabukicho girls, and the thing is, they would know you're a host right away.
Yeah.
You're nampa in kabukicho,
If
so
you
they
have the
know
appearance too, right?
you have the appearance, so they know you're nampaing for them to go to the club. So you don't so I mean the objective is there out in the open from the start. So it doesn't change too much from like normal nampa. So then you would talk a little bit, then exchange lines, then maybe just go for a drink there and there. Just that's like the best rest, like instant date.
Right.
Build a little bit of a bond, and then maybe right there just take her to the club, right, with you, or exchange lines and then invite her again. So and it's pretty similar, I would say. And so yeah, and definitely it helps a lot, like being good in nampa and then like nampaing the girl outside and to like bring her to the club.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to shift gears a little bit. Talk a little bit about your current situation.
Yeah,
Dating a lady right now,
yeah.
and your current girlfriend right now. She's a porn star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that? How did you meet her originally? I know it's kind of interesting story. I remember that original story.
Yeah. So so I was on my way to my graduation party
Yeah.
from the photography school
Mm-hmm.
in Shibuya, and yeah, you know, I was just like kind of, I wanted to get kind of in the mood right for the party, and so I was like, if I saw a cute girl, I was ready to talk to her, right? And yeah, she was just walking there, and I opened just like this. I'm like, wait, stop, right? Which works pretty well when you're kind of in the zone, right? For me,
Yeah.
I'm like,
that
stop,
is-
stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Like really like direct, like, and man, it was it was like she stopped, and then I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm coming back from the esthetician, right? And I'm like, let's go to like a karaoke for a few minutes. It was really fast, like super instant. And then she's like, yeah, okay, I'm bored anyway. She came to karaoke with me, and then it was around March, so it was a bit cold. So when we got to the karaoke, we started singing. She was average, right? She was okay. For me, it was like a. She was wearing makeup, so she was like a 6 or a 7 for me, looks wise. And then she takes off her coat, right? And she had this fucking massive tits, right? I'm like, yo, wait
a minute.
Yeah, man.
We gotta reevaluate.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I fuck the graduation party. I just need to focus on this right now.
Yeah.
And so we sing a little bit, and I order some drinks at the karaoke, and yeah, she's singing, and I do one of my. I to be honest, I like karaoke for pools because it's cheap, and then I haven't had too much resistance in the karaoke when I want to like have sex right there and there.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's cameras, but I don't care, to be honest. And then so I just do the arm thing, right? And the Hollywood arm kind of move. Yeah. Man, and Japanese girls haven't seen this movie, so they don't know it, right? So it's cheesy, but they have no idea.
Works. Yeah,
it works. You guys should give it a try. And and yeah, I started kinoing, right, body touch, and then we kiss, and then I pull up my ding dong, right? I pull it out, which is also really good.
Yeah, the D move.
It's a good move,
The D move, just whip it out.
Just whip it.
Just whip it out and makes everything real, makes everything obvious.
Yeah,
it's good.
And yeah, so basically I got a boob job, right, at the karaoke. That was all.
Yeah.
And then we went to Burger King, right? And we were casually eating at like 1 a.m, hamburger and French fries, and then she's like, you know what? She starts going through her camera roll, and I catch and I see like nude pics like everywhere, like
right.
And like professional kind of pics. I'm like, yo, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm actually a porn star. And I'm like, hell yeah, bingo, right?
Yeah.
I get. For me, it's like a good catch, right, to a porn star, a Japanese porn star, right? Like,
of course.
yeah, like Japanese porn, right? I'm guilty of watching my good amount of Japanese porn. I had a porn star right there in front of me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, these girls, I should kind of, try to meet her again, and I kind of I decided right there that I wanted her to become a regular, right? Because he was a pretty big catch.
Wait, so that night you didn't actually smash her?
No, because I could have, but I was tired as fuck. I was really tired, so I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna go home. So she called a taxi. She lived far away, but she came with her car to Tokyo. She lived in Yamanashi, but she had come with her car, but her car was in Yoyogi and this was Shibuya. So she called a taxi at 1 a.m. Back to her car. I got her line, and I told her I'm just going home, but I actually crashed in a net cafe. I needed my privacy. I felt like super exhausted, and then the next day I sent her a line, and at that time I already was kind of into it was like a month before I started doing the host job, right? And I was already watching a few videos, and I had got this line opener from a host on YouTube. It's a channel called Host TV. You guys can check it out. It's pretty good, and they teach. It has good stuff, and one of the videos was like, what line do you send to girls? What's the first thing you send after you get the line? And it's this super like kind of long, kind of almost chody message.
Yeah.
It was like Ohayong emoji, and then like Ima okita bakari, and it's like basically in English it's like I just stayed watching some random anime last night, and then I actually dreamt of you, and we were walking Harajuku Takeshita Street, and we got a crepe at Harajuku. Do you like crepes? We should maybe get a crepe someday. Anyways, I'm about to go to job. Hope yeah, hope you have a great day, and like super filled with emojis and like. And
That's
it
cute.
worked.
That's cute.
It
That's
worked.
cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And yeah, so we started doing line, and then yeah, I managed to get her out for the second date,
Hmm.
and I asked her to be my girlfriend on the second date, because I'm like I gotta
All
keep
right.
this
Like
going.
when you were at dinner, or like at what point did you ask her?
No, yeah, like I think after dinner. So I'm like, I
Mhm.
really like you, and I want you to be my girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, okay. But then after that, we were talking online, and she changed her mind. So she's like, cause she's older than me, and she's like 10 years older than me. So she's like, I want a serious relationship. So if you're not serious, I'm not interested.
Mm.
And then I called her, and I'm like super chody.
Mm.
No, come on, like I really I want to be your boyfriend or whatever. And yeah, I was pretty serious, because I liked her, and so yeah. And then I took yeah, and then on the third date, I think I finally banged her,
Right.
and it was the best sex of my life, and
Nice.
that sealed the deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I mean, as I mentioned to you, I'm also dating porn star as well. But I just met her at this like techno event, basically, like and I pulled her back the same day. It was like quite like it was not easy. I was with her for like several hours, like got her some drinks at the bar, and like we were just chilling, and like she wasn't really offering up too much conversation. Like she was like pretty quiet, and I was just like mostly just standing next to her, and like every once in a while I would say something to her, and like, you know, like I'm pretty talkative, like I'm pretty good at like, you know, talking to chicks, but in this particular case I was quite like, I don't know, like she wasn't giving me anything back, and
Yeah.
she's just like that. She's just like a pretty quiet person, but in the end, pulled her back here and ended up hooking up with her, and
It sounds so like she gave you. She was way harder than mine, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean she didn't do anything to cause a problem or like anything like that, but she wasn't giving me any indication she was interested, really. Like she was just like kind of like, oh, okay, right, like very
Yeah.
like flat kind of tone and everything.
Yeah.
And so it's quite difficult for me to like continue motivating myself to talk to her, and but anyway, eventually pulled her back, smashed her, and then like the second time we met, I was like, yeah, all right, like I want to date, basically, which
Yeah.
is something that I almost never do with girls, right? But that's one thing I noticed about girls who, you know, girls who use sex with their, you know, with their work, right? Something like, you know, AV or prostitution or something. They're basically starved for affection, right? Like, and like
Yeah.
most, like, so they don't,
Definitely, yeah.
like, the sex doesn't matter so much to them, but like they want that intimacy and they want the affection, right? So, and the commitment, right? Like obviously, like, you know, like my girlfriend, she's always obviously getting smashed by random dudes all the time, but she wants that, like, she wants the affection. She wants like, so like even more
Yeah.
than like, she's down to have sex or whatever, but she wants to just like, you know, she wants the cuddles, and she wants like the, like, you know, like, yeah, let's be together, let's go on normal dates,
Yeah.
let's like get dinner together. So like all those things are much more valuable in my experience with a girl who's like a, yeah, who's an AV girl or a prostitute as well. Whereas like girls who are not like that, who are, you know, who don't have sex for a living, basically, you know, the sex carries a lot of more weight for them, right? Like it's more effective
Yeah.
in creating that connection with them, right?
Yeah. 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 That's right. But but yeah, definitely. AV chicks. I don't know. Do you feel they're kind of harder to get than like normal chicks?
I didn't really feel that with this girl that I dated.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was harder necessarily. I just felt like she wanted like it was just different. Like the way that she the way she wanted me to talk to her and approach her was a little bit different, right? Like the first night she was down to hook up, whatever, but like, yeah, she really just did want that more of the intimacy.
Yeah.
Than like normal girls are like they don't want the intimacy too quickly, right? You know.
Yeah. Oh, you're right about they yeah, they don't give it as much weight, right?
Yeah.
They so it's easy to kind of like maybe hook up, and in my case like the boob job, right, and then like have the sex, right, like get it like fast, and then they see that kind of like not, yeah, they don't give it as much weight as kind of like the emotional connection, I guess.
Right.
And yeah, they're really like craving kind of, you know, sweet affection.
Yeah.
But it feels good to know that like she chose your dick from all the other dicks.
From all the dicks.
Yeah.
From all the dicks.
Yeah.
That is true.
Does she say like, oh, like Japanese dicks are like really small? Mine says all the time like,
oh yeah.
like, have you seen Japanese dicks? They're like so
yeah,
small.
yeah. Yeah, she actually does. Yeah, she does mention that. She does mention
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just check the time real fast.
For sure.
Okay,
For sure.
so yeah, like 5 more
We
minutes.
got 5 more minutes, so let's take some
Yeah.
questions. If anybody have any questions up here, is there a way to meet high quality Japanese girls like idols or porn stars? Because don't think approaching will land you a high quality. Approaching definitely will. We just had 2 separate stories about how approaching girls led us to our porn star girlfriends. So, yes, approach girls out in the world and you will find them. I don't know if that's a joke question or something, but yeah, like we literally just spent 20 minutes talking about how approaching girls got us porn star girlfriends. So I don't know what other proof you need here. A funny question. Shinjuku Crow says, "Can I be a host, or am I too old?" Sorry, bro, you're probably too old. I don't know. I think he's about 30 something. I can't remember.
Well, one of the hosts that came after I started working,
Yeah.
he was 39, I think. But I think he had already host experience.
Oh, okay.
So-
39. Damn, dude.
Yeah, but he looked pretty good. Like he
Yeah.
looked like way younger.
Yeah.
I would say the main thing is your liver, like if
Damn,
you can
yeah, the
handle
liver must fuck
all the
must fuck
alcohol.
you up, man.
Yeah.
What do you mean high quality? I mean, I guess high quality means like somebody. High quality generally, at least the way I think of it, means somebody that that society values. Essentially, like a girl that's valued by society is usually what I consider high quality. Although you could just consider high quality for yourself as well. I mean, social circle game kind of. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I mean, just talk to girls that you like that are pretty on the street. Social circle is only as useful as the quality of your social circle. So like if your social circle is a bunch of nerds who play magic cards, then it's probably you're probably not gonna find beautiful girls in it, right? So so go talk to beautiful girls on the street and you're gonna end up dating them. It's not really that complicated, right?
Oh man, sorry. Can I should interrupt? Have
Yeah.
you heard of SOD Land in Shinjuku?
No, what's that?
Okay, so this is a free tip for you guys if you maybe want to increase your chances of meeting a Japanese porn star.
Oh, here we go.
Bro, how many people are watching? Because I'm not sure if this will.
We got 31 right now.
Okay, yeah, just don't go ahead and be like super crazy like every day. But there's this building in Shinjuku called SOD Land, and it has 4 floors, and it's for Japanese porn stars. They work there, and each floor is different. You can do different stuff on each floor, and it's only the people that work there are like the staff and then Japanese porn stars. And my girlfriend goes there as well, once a month, right? And it's been featured on YouTube a few times, and maybe if you want to increase your chances, if that's your thing, just go and wait outside till the shift finishes and then try approaching maybe.
So what is it? It's like a It's like a pink salon, like a brothel kind of thing.
No, so it's more of a girls' bar, but
Mm.
only for Japanese porn stars. And I don't remember exactly which floor is what, but so like the first floor, let's say, is for like girls' bar, like drinking with the girl.
Mhm.
The second floor is like one of the floor has like a magic mirror, so you drink, and then you see the girls in the inside in the middle. They can't see you, and they prepare your drink as well, and they are like they're dressed kind of like yeah provocatively, and then you got two more floors that are I don't know what similar stuff, but I think one of the floors has a little bit more kind of like body touch okay kind of policy,
Yeah.
but it's not a brothel, so you can't
Seku Kaba or something.
sex or kiss or whatever, because especially with porn stars, they take really seriously their STDs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean they get checked every month, right? This is what I know from my girlfriend, and then if she goes around kissing random guys, that would like kind of put her career
At risk,
yeah,
right?
at
Yeah,
risk.
for sure.
So yeah, that's kind of a free tip for you guys for coming to watch today.
Yeah, that'd be a good. I'm about to take you up on that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Camp outside. I know the Shinjuku Crows down to come out with me.
Yeah.
Check out this establishment. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys. It's been a great chat today. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys had a great time. Be live again on Sunday night. So check it out. Peace out, everybody. Otsukaresama.
Peace.
Peace.